The Thing That Woke Me Up, Part 6, False Morning. Something moved in the back seat. I spun around so fast my neck popped. The dome light illuminated the cab. Empty. The back seat was empty. No figure, no person, no shadow, nothing. For several seconds I just sat there breathing hard. The GPS screen had gone dark. The message was gone. The feather was gone. Everything looked normal. My hands shook anyway, because normal had started to lose its meaning. I drove home. At least I think I did, and that's the problem. When you've spent years dreaming things that feel real, eventually, reality starts feeling like a dream. I remember pulling into the driveway. I remember turning off the truck. I remember walking inside, but none of those memories feel solid. They feel borrowed, like remembering a movie you watched a long time ago. By the time I reached my room, one question kept repeating in my head. Am I awake? The thought sounded ridiculous. Yet I couldn't shake it. I checked my phone. The voicemail was still there, unread, waiting. I checked the time, 3:58 a.m. I checked again, 4:01 a.m. Time was moving normally. That should have comforted me. It didn't. I eventually fell asleep with the bedroom light on, the same way I had when I was 12, the same way I swore I'd never do again. The next few weeks were the worst of my life. Not because of the dreams, because of the lack of them, the uncertainty, the waiting, the wondering. I stopped trusting simple things. I'd wake up and immediately question whether I was still dreaming. I'd check clocks, read text messages twice, and turn lights on and off, anything to convince myself I was awake. Most days it worked. Most days. Then there were moments that didn't make sense. Small things, little cracks in reality, the kind of things you can explain away until they start piling up. One afternoon, I walked past the garage. Dad was working on the truck. Music played through the radio. Grease stained his hands. Completely normal. Then he looked up and said, "You sleeping all right?" I froze. The question itself wasn't strange. The timing was, because it was the exact same sentence he'd asked me in a dream almost 3 years earlier. The exact same tone, the exact same expression, even the same song played on the radio. For one horrifying second, I knew what came next. Every detail, every movement, every word. I knew Dad was about to wipe his hands with a red rag, then ask me to hand him a wrench, then complain about a stripped bolt. And he did, exactly, word for word. My stomach dropped. Dad noticed. "You all right?" The same question, again. I forced a smile. "Yeah." But I wasn't, not even close, because that wasn't a dream anymore. That was real, wasn't it? Months passed. I turned 19. The figure didn't appear once. No birds, no loops, no hollow eyes, nothing. Only the strange feeling that something was missing. The same feeling you get when a room suddenly goes quiet and you realize there had been a noise all along. I should have been relieved. Instead, I was waiting. Always waiting. Then came the dream. The worst one yet. Not because of what happened, because of how long it lasted. It began in an apartment. My apartment, older furniture, older me, 25 maybe. The place looked lived in, photos on the wall, dirty dishes in the sink, bills on the counter, a life, a complete life. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Inside the dream I got a promotion, bought a different truck, started dating someone. I remember arguments, birthdays, vacations, entire conversations, years. Years passed inside that dream, years, and during all of it, the figure never appeared. Not once. I stopped thinking about it, stopped fearing it, stopped remembering it. The dream became life, more real than my actual life. Then one afternoon, years into the dream, I was sitting on the porch drinking coffee. A bird landed on the railing, a simple black bird, nothing unusual. My stomach dropped instantly because suddenly I remembered everything. The dreams, the figure, the warnings, Grandpa, all of it. The bird tilted its head, watching me, then flew away. Without thinking, I followed it. The world ended, not exploded, not collapsed, ended. The sky disappeared, the house disappeared, the city disappeared, everything vanished, like someone deleting a photograph. 1 second I sat on my porch, the next I stood in darkness, complete darkness. The figure waited ahead, closer than ever before, not across a field, not beyond trees. 20 feet away, watching. I tried to run. Nothing happened. The darkness beneath my feet felt solid, yet I couldn't move. The figure took one step. The sound echoed forever. Another step, closer. Its hollow eyes never left mine. I remembered Grandpa's warning. Do not let it touch you. The figure took another step, closer. For the first time ever, it lifted its head, not toward me, past me, looking at something behind me. The darkness suddenly shook, a violent tremor, like something enormous had slammed into reality itself. The figure stopped, its attention fixed on whatever stood behind me. Then I heard a voice, familiar, desperate. "Dylan, Dad." The darkness shook again. "Dylan!" The figure took another step toward me, faster this time, for the first time ever. It wasn't patient, it wasn't waiting, it was hurrying, and somehow that terrified me more than anything. "Dylan!" The darkness cracked, light poured through, the figure lunged, everything shattered. I woke up, gasping, heart racing, sweat soaked through my shirt. The room was dark, my room, my actual room. I sat upright, breathing hard. The dream was over, gone, finished. Then somebody knocked on my bedroom door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I looked at the clock. 3:17 a.m. My stomach tightened. "Dylan?" Dad's voice. Relief flooded through me. "Dad, you awake?" I laughed nervously. "Yeah." The doorknob rattled. "Can I come in?" Something felt wrong. Tiny, almost impossible to notice, but wrong. My father never asked that question, not once in my entire life. He always just opened the door. Always. I stared at the handle. The room suddenly felt colder. "Dad?" Silence. Then, "Can I come in?" The exact same tone, the exact same inflection, identical. Like a recording replaying itself, my heart started pounding. I slowly looked toward the bottom of the door. A shadow stood on the other side, too tall, much too tall, and it wasn't moving. Another knock, 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 knock. Then Dad's voice spoke again, softly, patiently, almost kindly. "Dylan." The doorknob began turning, very slowly, and from somewhere behind me, inside my room, I heard my grandfather whisper, "Don't answer it."